This podcast discusses a range of topics and is intended for mature audiences. Adult language may be heard throughout the episode. This podcast is for private, non-commercial use. The views and opinions of the cast, the guests, do not necessarily reflect any agency, organization, or company that they work for.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. 1, 2. Welcome to the Link Up Podcast, episode 126. Another episode, another week. Thank you for joining us. First time listeners, long time listeners, people who view us on YouTube. Remember to do what Chris said. Please like and subscribe. Damn, that feels disgusting.
Well, at least just tell them why, so it sounds good.
Whatever. Yo,
we try and get to 1,000 subs.
Bruh. Chris, welcome to the pod. Chris, good to see you. Salsa Poppy, the muscles is out today. What's up, man? Happy days, coffee?
Yeah, happy days, coffee.
Yeah, turn your muscles down, bro. This is just us. Welcome to the podcast, man. Good to see you.
Forever harassed in here.
Oh, that's the goal, man. You had a good time the other night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember it or?
Chris was outside?
Chris was outside.
Where you went, Chris?
Chris was outside.
So you lying now?
Getting in his personal business. To my left, what's up, Keisha? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You looking good? We matching? Black and browns and stuff?
You know.
Okay.
On the same wavelength.
Same wavelength. Sagittarius, keep going. The lovely Keisha representing the beautiful district of Georgetown. Rashad, what's up? How are you?
Good, man.
Big Dink Energy. I see you over there.
Pickleball
Make sure D get the shirt real quick.
Pickleball
tournament champ.
No, stop it.
Y'all didn't win?
No, we didn't win. Wasn't close, man.
Wasn't even close?
No.
Because you left hype. You was like, yo, me and my boy, we in a tournament. We gonna.
Yeah, and then
First
you go
round
there
exit.
and then you realize, like, some serious people in your actual group.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting.
Very
Exposure
humbling.
was nice.
Very humbling.
Yeah, we played like some high level people. I don't know how they made it to the 3.5 group, and they were like 4.0s plus.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they made it down there, but
because they wanted to win.
Yeah, I guess so.
Somebody lied, man. And they went.
So you got the broom on?
No. It was four groups of 6 teams, but only the top 2 from each group move out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came 3rd in the group.
Oh,
So we couldn't move out.
You're almost there.
Yeah, but we didn't quite get there.
Go get them again next time, champ.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah.
Next one.
Big Dink Energy.
Because winners win.
Eventually.
He told us that, and he lost. I should have known he was quiet, and there was something happened. His energy was a little off, man. But
Yeah, then I went rankings Sunday right after, and that was bad too.
Oh,
I was having a bad week.
Dang.
I used to Pickleball his life.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, we're going to another.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So what you need to do now is play shitter for a couple of months and get down to the 2.0 range.
No, never. Never.
Just start beating people, just killing them,
You know? And then just go out there and smash up everybody and then move out.
No, I go in training tonight.
Rashad's so serious about his craft.
Yeah, we'll get back on it.
Since we're here, we have a guest, braving the seat. Some may know him from I want to say Georgetown. Batman. I was gonna say Georgetown South from years ago. He hasn't said what he's up to and what his intentions are for this go around, but he's here today because of his website. I found a lot of people have been talking about his website as of late. He's doing a lot of reporting on the courts. I want to welcome Mr. Alric Lindsay to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Alric Lindsay.
Thank you for allowing me to come on your uncensored show.
Yeah, sometimes. We got to put a disclaimer out there, man. We're going to be good, though. We don't want to get demonetized on YouTube. Does that help, Chris? Because we can't curse in the first few minutes, right?
I don't even know.
Oh, but you know about the subscribers, though.
I was going to say, no, but unalived and...
Hey, yo.
Do what with it.
Real quick, let's get into it, man. The website. What's the name of your website again? It's called...
So it's blackboxinsights.org, and everyone asks why the name. Well, I didn't know what to put there, so it was short notice, and really the idea was simply the black box that you always find on the plane.
Okay.
That always gives you that information that gives the clue to what really happened. So that's the facts of what happened, rather than speculating about what happened. So one of the things that you found with the court is that when it comes to the summer court, so when you're dealing with traffic, when you're dealing with small thefts or small burglaries, sometimes rape, incest, these actually are not reported. So a lot of people in Cayman, I feel, have a false sense of security because these things are happening all the time, but they're not reported. So the things that you normally see are the stuff that you see in grand court. So they have written judgments, but the judgments from the judges for stuff like murder, money laundering, that will take months for a judge to write. Why? Because they have so many cases to deal with, so that they have these days where they sit down and just write judgments. They send them to the lawyers, and they go back and forth about grammatical errors or references which are not correct in the draft judgments. But that process can take a few months. Unfortunately, if you're not aware of the outcome of a judgment until months later, then you actually are not aware of the risk being posed to you right now. So that's a reason for doing the site, at least for the summary court matters, because no one really writes about those. So I just sit in court all day and do the daily results of the cases on a daily, obviously, yeah.
So you have a writing background, or you were in journalism before? I saw you doing some stuff with Loop before.
No, so I basically, that was an accident. I qualify as an accountant. I work for Coopers & Lybrand, which means I'm very old. So Coopers & Lybrand was a firm that existed before PricewaterhouseCoopers. So yeah, I'm ancient. So what happened is I did accounting for a while, ended up going to England and doing law, became a lawyer, worked for Auger and Maples, and decided to do director services. So I act as a director in hedge funds. But my clients are located in Hong Kong, so as a result, I have nothing to do in the day. Which is why people think that I don't work.
I was going to say, this guy always came to the courthouse.
Like, yeah, exactly. So I decided to just go to the courthouse and use my time constructively. So I'm there from 10 to 12 and back again at 2, which is the normal breaks for the court. Yeah. But it's useful for all of us to know what is actually happening today in Cayman. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what other questions you have about the court, but I could give you some insight on.
I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about just how media has changed, or is constantly evolving and changing over time. We see blogs pop up from time to time, but I guess your niche is kind of something that I guess should be really noted. Since we're here, real quick, I want to shout out to a listener, Tia Shea. I thought that was real dope what Tia did for us. Tia wrote an essay, and she mentioned the Link Up podcast in her essay. She's trying to get into, I want to say it's a youth summit, and they wanted young Caymanians to write about things that were important to them, and she kind of mentioned the Link Up podcast. I thought it was dope. Chris, you saw it, right?
Yeah,
you saw the presentation as well?
No.
Oh, okay, it was dope. So shout out to Tia and all the best. Again, just highlighting how media is shifting and media is changing, and podcasts hopefully will be one of those things that came on and we'll adopt and pick up on. It's interesting you mentioned the black box, because I was tripped out when I realized the black box actually wasn't black.
No, it's bright.
It's bright ass orange, yeah, to help you locate it. Obviously, because a lot of planes have been, and that's the thing. But yeah, Ari, you've been quite busy. Last couple of times you ran for elections, the last 2 elections.
Yeah.
What was your thought process behind running for the elections? What drove you to do that?
Well, the same thing that drove me to do the site is you want to make a real difference. So you're not just doing it because you want to be seen. You want to do something because whatever you touch, you want to make sure that benefits a whole pile of people. So, for example, writing about the court judgments is the same concept. It's not me benefiting from it because I do it for free. So going into Parliament for me was, I just was disappointed seeing so many people go in. They make so many promises to voters because they know voters are vulnerable. And they know voters are struggling with cost of living and healthcare. They know, but instead of actually doing something about it, They just say things that you want to hear. Then when they get in, they end up mingling with the big wigs and the VIPs. They go to the nice parties. And then when you need something, they say, well, I got to call my secretary, or I'm going to a meeting. And that's how it is for the next 4 years. And then about a month or so, or a couple of months before election, then they start coming around. They want to play dominoes with you. They want to give you a 6-pack of beer, a single cigarette. That's how it's done. They ask how your mama doing, and all kind of
Why Keisha laughing?
all kinds of things that I think are ridiculous and that are insulting to the intelligence of Caymanians.
Yeah.
That's just my view. So my idea is to just go in and just speak the truth and get stuff done. There are laws that have to be changed in this country. I mean, I could go through several, but if you want to link back, just give an example. If you want to link back what I'm doing with the courts to what I could do in Parliament, you look at something like murder. Usually, there's minimum sentences, there's sentencing ranges, but what a lot of people don't appreciate is that at the end of the day, even if a guy kills someone, there's a process that you go through. For example, you get a third off if you plead guilty early. So imagine you kill someone and you get a third off for pleading guilty early. And then if you were a previous good character, you get more off. And if the case took a long time to come to court, the court will look at the impact of that length of time on you as the murderer, and you get more time off again.
What does that look like in numbers?
Well, realistically, you could get off a couple years. So,
like murder is like what, average like 20 years?
Yeah, you may get. So, for example,
The life term is 25 now.
So, realistically speaking, there was a guy who just recently got sentenced, and he got 30 to, there was a 35-year minimum. So, but that was an execution of several people.
So you had to take all those people into consideration, or take all.
Yeah. So the judges look at cases on a case by case basis. Mm-hmm. So and a serious case like that, where multiple people are involved, where planning is involved, the judges consider those things aggravating factors.
Of course.
So they will usually start at a high number, and then it goes down. So even if you take off all those things, you're still subject to the minimum.
Yeah.
So
I think we've had that conversation here a few times where people will hear a judgment and they will be like, yo, wait a minute, why did that person only get X amount of years? And it's just like, wait a minute, you don't have the full facts and details of the case. Mm-hmm. So if that's premeditated, where there's planning, there's, or someone might say it's self-defense, but in reality, the person didn't leave when they had a chance to leave. Like, there's just so many different things that go into play. And then, of course, if you do plead guilty, you will get the 1/3 discount or whatever, in some case, or in most cases. So I guess that's why it's important to have sites like yours that are perhaps diving a little deeper and giving you more context to the story. I think that's what people are missing when they see, a tweet or a highlight on Facebook of just 2 lines, and then they run with the decision of, oh my God, that person only got X, or that person's found not guilty, not realizing what is the true situation of the matter.
Well, I write the title longer than normal because I feel like some people won't read the article.
Yeah.
So I just write the conclusion so that everyone can see it. And if you want to go deeper, then you have that choice.
Yeah.
What's the situation? A lot of people find it interesting a lot of the times of people that commit sexual assault or even rape against minors, and they end up getting 4 or 6 years sometimes, and they feel that's a lot of the time that's quite not sufficient amount of time for someone to serve. What are the actual contributing factors to those kinds of judgments?
It's the same process, unfortunately. So
are the minimums not high enough?
No, but that's what I'm saying. You can only give what's in the law.
So this is what I'm asking.
So basically, there are several cases in court now of men penetrating 13-year-olds and younger children. and we are not allowed to say the name of the person if it's his daughter or his niece, anything that can connect him to the child. You can't identify a child, basically. Mm-hmm. And so some cases where I would like to report the guy's name, the court prohibits me from doing so because you can link him to the child. So it's the same process. I think generally speaking, you'll see a guy who does an indecent assault against a minor, probably like 4 to 8 years. And it's the same process. They will say, good character, early guilty plea. It's the same process. So what has happened is you look at the law first, and the law will say X years. The next step is the judges look at what they call sentencing guidelines. So what the sentencing guidelines do is they say, what level of harm was caused? And then they say, was it done intentionally or whatever? After they look at those things, they develop a category within the sentencing guidelines. So you can be category 2, 1, for example, and that would mean you fall into a certain range of sentence. So your range of sentence might say probation to 5 years imprisonment. Unfortunately, this is how it's done on a case-by-case basis. They look at the sentencing guidelines, they get the ranges. After you look at the ranges, the lawyers look at all these cases. So what previous case was similar to this one? Similar circumstances, age of a child, relationship between the child and the rapist. They look at those things, and then you determine based on those cases, is this case worse than that one? Or the circumstances really different, the facts really different? So unfortunately, I know she's reacting, but unfortunately, although there's a victim impact report, which means that you have to find out what that child or the impacts on their family is, although you go through that, the truth is that usually doesn't add a lot to the sentence of the person. So when you look at all that other stuff, you get the impression like the person who did the crime gets more benefits from the considerations.
Let me go to Keisha. What's up, Keisha? Why are you looking like that for, Keisha? Talk to me.
Because of exactly what he's saying, the way that the law is, I guess, written, it looks as if the perpetrator benefits because we taking into consideration his character, the fact that he would have pled guilty, would have pled guilty, all that sort of stuff.
I appreciate that to hear.
But then the victim, on the other hand, now they fighting for their life with whatever mental distress and, all that sort of stuff. And the law doesn't really account for, taking care of them, I guess. Okay. Other than not naming a minor, but then what are we doing for their mental and their physical? And, are we taking them out of the homes on time? Are we doing enough on the ground research with, what do you call them? Family and children services. Like, are they in the homes enough? Like, what are we doing in the background before it gets there?
For the most part, they're under-resourced and understaffed.
Yeah, so just to be clear, the court does engage those parties. But like what you're indicating, the long-term effect on a child is forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's going to affect their relationships with other people. That's going to affect how they think about themselves. Mm-hmm. So for that reason, personally, if you want to link this back to me being interested in Parliament, I would ensure that if I have the buy-in from other members of Parliament, that there's a high minimum mandatory sentence, and the idea of using the sentencing guidelines would be that they must be consistent with what the law says. So, for example, if it's a mandatory minimum under the law, it wouldn't matter to me. If there's a minimum mandatory sentence under the law, then the sentencing guideline must reflect the same thing. So you can't go to a different category and go, oh, this means probation to 2 years. No, it's going to be 10 years or 20 years.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you, what were your thoughts on mandatory minimums?
I understand that people look at human rights and they look at second chances, but I personally can't give a second chance for someone who raped a child So I just think there are circumstances where it's a no-go for me. So I do understand the reasoning behind it. You should give someone a second chance. People can change. People can go through rehab. But if you look at what we have in Cayman, we talk about all these millions of dollars that go through here, trillions that go through here, but then we don't have sufficient facilities. Mm-hmm. So to give you an example, there was a guy in court the other day, a Jamaican guy who has schizophrenia. He was deemed not guilty by reason of insanity. So the facts are is that he was somewhere along Fairbanks. That's more if I can allowed to give you. He broke into our home. He put his and end of the day, the judge said he's not guilty by reason of insanity. He had a history of schizophrenia in Jamaica. He came to Cayman to work, and unfortunately, notwithstanding the trillions that we have flowing through the country and all the wealth that we see on the coast, we had nowhere to put him. So we put him in the Georgetown Hospital, and before the recent amendments, only the governor could make a decision what to do. But because of a recent amendment that just went through Parliament, now the courts have that power to determine where to put them and when to take them out or deport them. So now that power rests with the court. I think that amendment was this month.
Is that court's judgment advised by like psychiatric evaluators and such?
Yes, they always engage whatever professional they think they should engage. But the point is, we still have no one where to put them because Poinciana, as I understand it, has refused them. So you would have thought that this big facility would have taken care of some of these types of cases. But my understanding is that an inquiry was made recently, and they won't take them. So now we're stuck.
What's the difficulty? Because you said he's not a national of the island, right? What is the difficulty with deporting individuals like this?
There's no difficulty. I've seen cases where the judge has had CBC or immigration in the court, and they've asked them when is the next flight out, and then literally, and then the judge will say, okay, go through the process, the same sentencing process, and say that it will cost the Cayman Islands too much money for us to house you, and so you're on the next flight out.
I have a question. With the case that you were just talking about, and why would they not have just like sent him back home? Why did he even get through with a work permit? Because you're saying that he had a history of schizophrenia. So how did he even pass that check mark?
Well, if you came in, they got to check everything, So I think that's part of the answer. I just tell the truth. That's part of the answer. If you're Cayman, you're going to get a lot of checks. You're going to be asked to prove you Cayman and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's just a general assumption that everyone who comes from overseas is great. So I think that's why. I don't know factually what checks were done on the guy, but this has happened on more than one occasion. Yeah. So it suggests that something is wrong with the system.
But filling out a work permit form, you're not going to go into deep medical history like that. It's the blood test. It's the, are you fit? Are you fit today?
You if you have mental issues.
But if you're schizophrenic, you have to do somebody else in that moment.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess our CBC officers not doing enough to like screen an individual because, okay, fine, you fill out a form, but I'm pretty sure there's testing that can be done. Like, that they can tell whether or not somebody is or is not, because that's how you're going to do it anyway. They're going to find a psychiatrist to come in and say, do these tests or whatever. So I think they should just do that
across
the board.
I'm not sure you can do that. I mean, we have, that's a lot of work. Is what you're asking. You're going to subject every single person who applies for a work permit here to go through a full psych evaluation and have that submitted and considered. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, do we want invalids or what's happening?
I mean, I guess the question is, right? I mean, is it because the percentages of the individuals that may be, I guess, mentally compromised are so low, it's probably just it's gonna be a financial burden on the system and a lot of red tape getting anybody through the doors here.
But they already have to do a medical anyway. So
Yeah, but that medical,
the psychiatric part now, because as we
do you
see,
have AIDS and that's it.
there's an issue because we letting people in that have schizophrenia.
What we gonna do, Keisha? We gonna put you at on Roberts.
Me?
Yeah.
Nobody wouldn't get through.
As they walk by, you just be like,
all I want is Caymanian's hair.
You gonna give them the eye
Don't get me started.
But that's a question, right? How would you know that someone has schizophrenia?
Yeah.
How would you know?
Yeah. You gonna know over time.
But that's what I'm saying. There needs to be some type of psychiatric test done. I'm sure they could do something simple, very basic that you could say yes, no, maybe so. I don't know, like. Simplify it.
Voices in your head.
Keisha wants like a swab that tells you.
Right.
Nah, get out of here.
But like a little sample test to be like,
Yeah.
Like, if you answered a certain question, a certain way, you'd be like,
So
we gonna put you at Owen Roberts.
just so you're aware, the situation becomes more complex because there are people in court currently for forging documents, and so people are coming here and they have forged work permits, and it's a network. And unfortunately, my understanding is that while the police found several people who were doing this here, they did not investigate the whole network. So we don't know how many people outside are connected to the people here, but it's happening frequently.
No one snitched?
No.
Not yet.
No.
We need that law and order vibe, man. When you get in the room and just be like, Chris is next door. He's telling us all the information. But if you go first, we like, yo, that's what we need.
Put some donuts on the table.
Yeah. We got a lot of networks here. Look at all the. So RBC,
even the ATM skimming.
Yeah, RBC got hit for $104,000 last April, and it's a network. So the guys land here, they're given the equipment, and you got one person who sends them on out by Western Union.
Wait.
So,
the equipment's already on the island?
Yeah. So, or they bring in the components, they separate the components and put them in the, this guy had dug a hole in his laptop. He hollowed his laptop and hid the stuff in there. So you won't get caught if you look suspicious in the line, in nothing to clear line. That's the only reason you get caught. Mm-hmm. So this has been going on a long time. So, I mean, 104,000 is what was reported by RBC. So in this case, just to let you know how it happened is, one guy comes here, he has everything set up. He's out there, he puts a camera by the ATM machine. So that camera records when you punch in your number, and then they have a bunch of blank cards that they get from someone else that is here. And they end up copying your card. So what they do is they go at times that you wouldn't be awake. So they would go like at midnight, or they would go very early in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning. And you wouldn't know money's coming out of your account unless you get one of those text messages that say, I get that. But I'm not sure if every bank does that. So imagine you're out having a good time, you at the bar. You won't necessarily notice these pings if you get the pings from the bank. So basically you got people getting, and also depends on what your limit is at your bank. So there were guys who were getting like $1,500 a day taken from them. And how the money gets out, either they try to smuggle it out, or in this case, the last case, a girl came in to join the guy. She would see you out in a bar.
I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
And then she would pretend like she's interested in you. Oh, that's my cousin. She said that her partner is her cousin.
Yeah.
She'll tell you that. And then next deal she'll say, my child is sick, but because I'm a tourist here, they won't allow me to send more funds out. And because you were very impressed with the conversation, you think you have an opportunity to get to know her, you send the money out. And that's exactly what happened. She met a lot of guys here, and all the guys send the money out.
She created her mule network.
Yeah.
I've actually read about that one, yeah.
I've always told people from my time serving in cybersecurity and such.
Cybersecurity.
I spent 10 years in that. I've always told people when it comes down to banking and such, create another account that's not linked to your card, and only transfer to your card what you plan on using It only takes 2 minutes to log in and move over 500 for the day or whatever it is you're going out for that night.
Yeah.
And it'll save you a lot of grief later on.
Yeah, unless it's 5 o'clock and then you can't transfer nothing no more.
What do you mean you can't transfer nothing?
Some of them banks, they switched it up now. Like you can't
You
do
can
that.
do own account transfers whenever.
I would just go say, what are you talking about?
You might not be able to do domestic transfers, but own account transfers you can do.
I can show you one.
Well, I don't know about them other.
Your people, they changed it? The other one? The old one? The old spot? We talk about it.
It's okay, but anyway, that's the idea. Is you don't keep all of your money on your card because you don't know where you can get defrauded at. Yeah. And thankfully, hopefully, over time now we'll move to having your payment systems all on your phone, so that
someone can steal your phone.
I would just go say, is that a great idea, Chris?
What's that?
Your phone can get stolen.
Your phone can get stolen, but I mean, it's going to be much more difficult because you have the luxury of logging in on another device and locking it or wiping it, right?
True.
You have the luxury of having your Face ID, which is going to make it harder to get into. It's not as easy as just skimming the card, right? Because now you're actually, you're using the NFC communication from the phone to make the connection to the ATM or to the payment system or whatever. So, that's why I feel like a lot of places here as well, like restaurants and stuff, they should never take your card anymore around the back. They should always bring that terminal to you.
I noticed that now. A lot of them do that.
When someone takes their card around the back, you should never trust them.
Oh no, nobody not going nowhere.
Because there was a problem before where some girls that were working at Margaritaville were taking pictures of people's cards and then using information to make online purchases. They were discovered and fired, obviously, but this happened years ago when Margaritaville used to be open in town.
Brazen.
Well, for you who haven't checked, what kind of sentence do you think these guys should get?
Well, I don't know. That girl must not. I saw her up the other day.
Whoa. Come on. Oh, I thought
you need sentence among them that were giving her the money after meeting her one night. They need to get.
Yeah, I don't know.
think that too. That's
What do you think is appropriate though? What do you think is appropriate?
For that? I guess it depends on how much damage you do, right? For one, obviously the operation of illegal. Well, I guess illegal. I don't know if that'd be considered. Maybe that would be card skimmers and stuff would be considered illegal ICT equipment, or if you're not like an authorized user. I don't know exactly what the legal terms would be around that, but I would assume you'd have to have some kind of definitions of who can own that type of equipment, like card readers and such. And but to determine, I guess it depends on the volume of money that was stolen.
I think also the level of dishonesty and what else goes into it as well too.
What do you mean?
It's the hours of her at the Lone Star or whatever, talking to the guy and prepping him and milking him.
You mean it's different than if someone just found someone's card or whatever? Or
I think so. That's the mitigating circumstances. I think that's fair. If
you're part of a criminal network,
like the dude that picked up the money the other day at the famous restaurant and went in the restaurant and it was on the video. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
We've all found money on the floor.
That's what I'm saying. I think God bless him that day and gave you. I'm gonna take care of your food today. But now, if you're actively going and looking and doing something and maneuvering and it's days and weeks and planning and all that kind of shit, your sentence gotta be higher than normal.
But to Rashad's point, why would the men get in trouble? Because remember,
he said they should get in trouble.
But that's what I'm saying. Why would they? Because
y'all need to have some discernment.
Yeah, because we're so fool.
Okay.
Why are you so fool?
She don't like you.
I'm glad you call it on a race.
Oh wow.
No, they can't.
They should get in trouble though.
They should.
Typically, if
they should at least get fined.
I'm joking.
Typically, if you're a mule and you can prove that you were acting out of complete ignorance, they're not gonna press.
But that's my thing. If a girl meet you tonight, y'all talking for 2 days, and she hits you with, "Can you go to Western Union for me?" No, I don't have no AML training.
That's my red flag.
But Victor, you can use that same logic and apply it to people that get fished, right?
What? Catfish?
No, I'm talking.
Sorry.
Like PH.
We talking about dating and stuff. That's why. Okay.
No, but what I'm saying is like online, you play that same logic to there. Like, it's obvious that you should never give up your credentials. It's obvious
that you shouldn't click a link.
You should never do this, but it happens, right? People are you are preying on people's ignorance.
If the Nigerian person emails you on Gmail and says, "I have $1 billion, I just need you to help me by sending this money to Western," you deserve some type of some type of punishment.
Victor, let me.
We have too much information out here for you not to know better now.
Victor, that's not fair.
How is that not fair, Mr. Cybersecurity?
Because you're painting it so bluntly and so obviously. Even though that does still work on some people, the level of sophistication that phishing scams have gotten to now are absolutely insane.
So since you're in cybersecurity, you're gonna bring some real life examples in.
Oh, I could show you some.
Probably.
But back to Rashad's point.
I'm not in cybersecurity anymore.
All right, but back to Rashad's point. If you meet chick on X night at the karaoke, and in 2 days she talking about, yo, can you go send this money back home for so and so?
Suppose you down bad and you never had a girl come up to you before or whatever.
That's exactly what it is. You ugly. You never got no girl talking to you like this before.
God.
So all of a sudden, you should be suspicious. Why is this girl talking to me?
Of course.
I went to jail because a girl talked to me.
Yeah, how many times you done went to Lone Star for the karaoke night or whatever for the bingo? And you never took nothing home. And now this chick from Venezuela won. Come on, you gotta get in trouble for that too, bro. Come on.
All right. Other than hurt feelings, what kind of hurt do you think is caused by stolen money?
Well, depending on the person's situation, I guess terms might be over now because that was many years ago. But I had a situation where
a disclaimer about
a teacher lost her entire savings.
Mm-hmm.
Right, her entire savings was gone. It wasn't a substantial amount of money but for her that was everything. And what does that mean? She can't pay bills.
That her livelihood.
She can't go buy groceries.
But from where though? Was it in the bank on the card or what?
Online banking fraud.
So is that
are banks insured?
I was gonna say how
banks insured up to $250,000.
No.
In this case, RBC was.
That's not for the cards. Online banking is different because it is presumed that the point of failure was you, right? There's only but so many mitigating stances or measures the bank can take to protect you. But if you let someone into your door, show them into the room, give them the goods and walk them out, there's only but so much the police can help you. Now, granted, there are court cases where the judges have ruled that the banks did not take enough measures to protect their customers and give the money back. It also kind of depends on who you are in the world as well. The sad case is, right, generally speaking, people can't fight the banks because lawyers are expensive. So if you are a lawyer, you can probably fight the bank because you don't have no costs. You can do all the paperwork yourself. So you might have a chance of getting your money back. I mean, it really depends on the circumstance. But generally speaking, the banks don't really pay the money back.
But are they not mandatory to be? Are they not required to be insured legally?
RBC paid the clients back.
The insurance thing doesn't matter if the customer is liable for the loss.
No, I agree in that sense. I'm talking about the woman if she had any recourse if she wasn't liable. I didn't know if she was liable or not.
She did not get that money. But the point is I'm just telling you that online phishing has gone extremely sophisticated now. It's not just the most dubious ones where I'm the prince that has $500 million for you. They're using real life examples, whether it be through Amazon, whether it be through, FedEx things, whether it be through, if your email is compromised, using friends and family to get towards you. There are AI scams now where they'll do phone calls with AI voices of close relatives of you saying that they're in an urgent situation and need money. There's
that one went around here recently too.
Yeah,
they were getting calls on WhatsApp, and then you so and so is in trouble. Can you send money?
I was just gonna say, nobody not calling me. I'll call you back.
So yeah, but anyway, all I'm saying is it's not just the prince that's asking for money. It gets a lot more sophisticated than that.
No, I guess I was getting at if you are home and you're something unbelievable is happening to you. It probably is unbelievable, and you should probably have some discernment to get over yourself. That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah, when you look at the actual case, though, actually the question about harm for a reason is because in the RBC case, there was insurance and everyone got paid. So they didn't deem it to be a high level of harm because it was more inconvenience that they looked at. That for a short period, you couldn't pay those bills then for a short period.
The person with the network that was doing the stuff, that they got like a lighter sentence?
Yeah, they got 14 months. But
Is this the same mindset that we've seen?
Keeps to say what?
We've seen used throughout, I guess, the islands and within members of parliament that may have removed money and be like, well, I didn't steal it because I paid it back.
these guys already served 7 months, by the way. So
just even on remand.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's the same principle applied, right? Once the amount of harm done, because I didn't steal it, I paid it back. It was just an inconvenience that the money wasn't there.
Yeah, it can't just be on harm though. It gotta be on a level of sophistication.
All right. So when it comes to volume, you mentioned volume. One argument that you use in court is that it could impact our image as a financial center.
I've heard that before.
But argument was rejected.
Oh wow.
So based on what?
Because if it's just 100,000 out of $1 billion in assets, then it's immaterial.
I don't agree with that at all.
No, that's just the thinking, right?
Yeah.
So it's not.
But I've heard
we might not agree.
Yeah,
but
I don't agree with that. I was just trying to think, because it's like, I mean, I guess if it's just one single person that happened to, then maybe you can make the argument. But if you have hundreds of people, maybe thousands, well, it probably won't be thousands, but hundreds of people every year that are getting fished across the islands, and these campaigns are happening throughout all of the big retail banks constantly. And I remember, how many times did you get phishing SMS messages and stuff on your phones last year? It was 1 million times. I think we all got them, right? If that's constantly happening, and the only reason that happens, and I can promise you this, the only reason that they stay is because they got someone. They literally, it's like you're fishing on a boat, right? You're going around, you find a spot. When someone bites and you catch something, you put down the anchor,
you stay there,
and you camp.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Once you get one sucker, then you camp and then you attack.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. So I think it could be like a bad reputation, because the banks are always worried about reputation. Well, I've heard they don't ever come out and announce, well, we have a new phishing campaign, everybody.
Well, I've heard a few times where things don't get reported. Like people just don't work there no more because
it's a reputation thing. So that argument I don't really find believable, because the banks want to protect your reputation at all costs, I think.
Speaking of
understandably so.
Speaking of reputation, real quick, I want to get to Arik, but I don't want to hold him up too much. We were talking about weed. We were talking about the discrepancies between locals getting charged certain things and the tourists getting that fine and getting put back on the plane. This is a good time to kind of get into it.
Well, I don't know what the court was doing before I got there, but basically when I got there, one of the things I noticed was, so first of all, it's correct that my observation was that, I might as well give you a real life example. I'm in court, the government's lawyers are on the end, the tourist is in the box, waiting to hear what's going to happen. The charge is drug importation. So you understand that if you have drug importation on your record, no matter where you go in the world, they don't know what drug it was. They just see drug importation, right? So what I saw was the government lawyer leaving the room, making a phone call, coming back in court, change the charge from drug importation to possession. So once you start at possession, you're starting at a lower level.
What's the definition?
I was going to say, let's get into that.
Yeah, I don't know the actual definition.
Because, is that similar to possession with intent to supply? Or just having possession, right? Is it similar semantics to that? Because importation would be you're coming in to leave it here.
Yeah.
Or are you coming in to just consume it yourself, kind of thing, which would then maybe be possession.
So when you talk about intent to supply, they would look at volume.
Volume, yeah.
Okay.
So if it's a small amount, which these days the courts are looking at less than 2 ounces as being a small amount. So we have it.
So that's what I was getting at in terms of importing, consider the importing or possession. Is it something like that, or is it something a little bit more nefarious where they are altering these judgments based on?
Sorry, not judgment, but the charges. Yeah,
charges.
No, so what you have to understand is there's a lot of Caymanians that have ganja on their record, and it's hard to get a job.
Right.
So that is a distinction, is that in many cases, exceptional circumstances weren't declared for Caymanians. However, for tourists, exceptional circumstances are always declared. So the examples
look
are...
at Keisha.
Yeah, because we talked
Did you
about
cover
this
that
before.
case with that? Was there like was she a model or something that came on a private plane?
No, I didn't cover that. That was a different person.
Okay, I don't know, like, because I remember that she got off easy too.
That's a GG chick.
That's
The GG, yeah, her.
That's normally the case. So what the courts do is they look at, did you intentionally bring it? So what they look at? Is that true?
You got right to laugh.
It's on it. Ask nicely.
These are the facts. These are the facts. So the court will ask, where did CBC find the marijuana? So if CBC found the marijuana in your hand in a plastic bag, then you clearly intended to bring it in, right?
Yeah.
But
You're a damn fool.
But if CBC finds it, for example, in the case of the bartender who works at the Kimpton,
I don't think I know about
they find it in her sleeve.
In her shirt?
Yeah, and it was like, I think it was a sweater sleeve. Now, things like that will make the judge think, okay, maybe
You knew what you were doing.
Yeah. So the judges look at all those things to say, they ask that question, did they intend to do it, or was it an accident? So in the cases of intent, then that would go more negatively against you. If it was an accident, plus if ganja is illegal, where are you coming from? Because, for example, Colorado or some places in Canada.
Which is fair. I think that's fair. Yeah. If I'm coming from the Denver flight.
Yeah, it's usually New York or Canada that they find the stuff on. So usually,
Keisha agreeing, she's shaking her head. Yeah.
I mean, are we not going to hold people responsible for how they conduct themselves and what they put in their bags? And like, it's like the people that come in here with
The
bullets and whatever in their bags. It's like, how can you just assume so lightly that you don't check yourself?
But not everybody the same. I used to watch Locked Up Abroad. So I know damn well my box is getting double checked. I don't know where I'm going, what's not supposed to be.
I don't know. I kind of feel like we're way too
what, lenient?
Yeah.
But that goes back to the reputation though. Do we want to be locking up tourists when we want tourists to come here?
Yeah, I think that's the judges have never said it, but you could tell that it's underlying. Yeah, because if you go and arrest a bunch of Americans and put them in jail, what do you think the reaction is going to be?
Yeah,
the reaction is not going to be nice.
I'm not coming here. I'm not coming here to the West End for Christmas.
We might go to war. Getting cussed out when we had Skylar in jail.
We might go to war.
Yeah.
Wait, what soldier? With the regiment?
Didn't they say Trump called?
Well, Trump knew about the case. Yeah. When we put Skylar in jail, it was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, for example, exactly. For example.
No, but to your point, though, the Americans sometimes could be very ignorant. Not because what happens in the U.S. happens in the U.S. You're in a different country now. Educate yourself. Because if we go to the States, they're not gonna be lenient with us. They're gonna throw us in the deepest, darkest cell.
But Keisha, you don't be knowing the laws when you go to these places. You don't be knowing the laws.
Which is exactly why I follow the rules. Okay. When I leave my jurisdiction, I don't have no bullet, no weed, no nothing that would put me in jail.
No, nothing.
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
No, nothing.
Thank
at
you.
all?
This actually comes up in court. Like the exact thing comes up in court, and most people have said
you can't plead ignorance to the law.
No, you can't.
Only in those cases.
Only in those cases.
So you're we talked briefly about, I guess, the came on connection of locals. You guys in the media have reported as well too. There seems to be a disparity, which we've obviously recognized. So are you guys saying that's not fair?
It's not correct, because the rule is ignorance of a law is no excuse, and that has to apply to everyone, not just Caymanians. So once you start applying it to other people, and not if Caymanians don't get the benefit, then first of all, Caymanians will have to understand that this is happening. Okay. And they would have to be so upset about it that they would protest. I mean, Caymanians don't always protest about everything. That's significant.
Got it.
So I think there's something significant that we are being treated differently at that level. Now, I have to say that there is one judge who always says, I treat Caymanians and foreigners the same way, and she generally goes through the same process for Caymanians and foreigners. But there are other judges who openly state in court that if you were from here, the circumstances would be different.
So that's
But then a discrimination.
I'm just talking the facts, so I mean, if that's what you want to call it,
Yeah, it is discriminatory because they blank right out saying like you're Caymanian, so we're gonna go. No, that's not fair.
But y'all kind of supposed to know better though.
But I thought what I tell you about supposed to, this thing about common sense, there's no such thing. You either know or you don't know. So clearly somebody didn't know something, and that's why they're in the predicament. Yeah. Good.
Yes, ma'am.
So you wouldn't be able to claim like special circumstances, because suppose I go to Colorado and I get violently high and I traveling back and I just push it in my pocket and I make it back home and then I get in trouble.
So the special circumstances can't be declared by you though. It has to be the judge. Oh. So your lawyer has to make the argument. For example, one example of special circumstance is a guy who is an executive. He got found with ganja. He's responsible for a big team, and if his reputation gets damaged, his whole team is damaged. And so that's a set of special circumstances, because it's not just him that's being impacted, it's all those other people. So these are just facts from the court. So it's the judge's discretion to determine those circumstances, so which are always determined in the case of tourists.
So basically, if you don't have nothing really to offer, then
you don't have links.
You're screwed. Yeah, you don't got no links.
Done.
Which is why they always offer a free lawyer in court to the tourists.
You sorry, just a note too though. People should know that you can go in and just witness court proceedings for the most part. It's open.
That's correct.
So this is nothing to foreign or being blocked from you. If you ever want to go down there and witness,
just make sure you wear proper attire, because they will kick you out if you don't have.
Keisha can't go for sure.
Listen, I have my blazer. I'm always ready for court.
You always ready for court?
Yeah, you remember I'm a legal secretary by trade. Oh. Never forget.
Okay, biddies.
Never forget. So it's the same situation with guns and ammunition. So if you want to take the cases side by side, the last couple of cases, like Fritz McPherson, for example, someone, based on the facts, someone came to his house, looked for him. Fritz offered to, or suggested that, you put the gun in the gun amnesty. So surrender the gun. Fritz goes to bed. 5 o'clock in the morning, police are knocking on his door. He looks out the window to see who it is. At the same time, he sees the gun. He throws the gun out in the garden. Police find the gun. Fritz gets a minimum of 7 years, and the judge said that she could not find any exceptional circumstances. Now compare that to a tourist. So you have tourists coming here all the time. There's several examples. Coming with a loaded gun, or leaving with a loaded gun, coming with a bullet, or leaving with a bullet, all the time. On almost every case, exceptional circumstances are declared for the tourist. Tourist gets no conviction recorded and just pays a fine. That's a really big difference between how Caymanians are treated for gun charges and ammo and how the tourists are being treated. It is not correct, but it's for the same reason as ganja, because if the guy has a gun license overseas and he just forgot after a shooting, going to the shooting range, he forgot that it was there. And so almost every case is like that. They declare it based on those reasons. No conviction, pay a fine, you're free to go.
Is it brought up, I guess, in the case of some of these Americans, whether or not they're like a licensed gun? Do they prove that they're a licensed gun owner? And if they prove that they've had any acts of violence with the guns previously in the States or anything like that, are those things considered?
So it appears that they take the lawyer's word for it because...
Yo.
Okay, be logical. The person just got here yesterday, and customs brought them into court. So, how much time did they have to contact U.S. authorities,
right,
or any state to determine if they were licensed, or look in their background to see who they shot if they were part of a gang? I mean, there's not enough time to do that. So the lawyer takes instructions from the client, and the client tells them they have a gun license, and you know the court expects the lawyer to make correct representations. So
I don't doubt that there's not something going on. There's not a bias sometimes. I don't doubt that. But my fear is that sometimes we're not comparing apples to apples. We're not comparing the exact same type of examples when it comes to someone with a bullet in a bag versus someone here who knows. You know, came out. You know who the people is. You know.
Yeah, but why disenfranchise your people?
I don't know if it's that, but we supposed to have a higher level of.
Well, I think the idea what Victor is saying that no one's carrying around a gun and came on by accident, or non-aggravative purposes, where the tourist is coming here with the gun in the bag. It is assumption that they're allowed to carry it back home.
Especially if they can travel with it back home.
They're not coming here to commit crimes with the gun, I think is what Victor's trying to say.
Yeah, but why would you come with it at all? There's intent.
The idea is that they don't know because they need normally
you can travel with your stuff in the States for the most part.
Yeah, but you're not coming to the States. This is the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, but we've had situations where people have the random bullet in the third compartment zipper bag. Like
that sounds like a you problem. Check your luggage.
But again, this is why I'm not crazy about mandatory minimum sometimes, because if that situation happened, what you mentioned earlier, and now it's in on my windowsill, or is that really in my possession? I'm getting 10 off the rip.
Yeah, but you don't have to have something on you to be in your possession.
But that's what I'm getting at. Because if we want to get technical, then I can go place a weapon in Chris' car, call him and be like, yo, that person is suspect, and now he's picked up with a weapon and he's facing 10 mandatory minimum.
But then when did they do fingerprint testing and all that? My fingerprint's on it, no. So
yeah, I don't know how much you guys know about DNA transfer.
Oh, but never mind.
What?
DNA transfer.
I heard about it. I don't know.
Do you know that?
I don't know about the scientific whatever. How long it's
no need to get into that. If you guys go out and you go drinking, most likely you go buy him a shot. He buys you a shot. At some point, you got to touch his glass. At some stage, something's going to happen. Or you got to bounce him, or you got to do something like this.
We going to hug, we going to do something, yeah.
No, if he had a gun on him, that gun is on you now. So that's how this thing works. Yeah. So when they do the forensic testing, they look at the mixture of the DNA, and that mixture will now show that both of you had the gun. So now both of you get charged with possession. So this happened to a guy who went to Badabanu, and he was partying with this guy, and then they went Mary Street, and the other guy, the driver, had a gun in his car, and so
both of them,
both of them are charged.
Joint enterprise, yeah.
So if I'm just rolling with somebody, and me and Vic going,
that's what I'm saying. Like I gotta find out what you got in your car.
Over and Victor got the gun on him. I'm going down too.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Even if he didn't know.
Yeah. Well, you got to prove that.
I can't prove it.
He has to prove it.
You sure it was Badabanu?
That's what the kid said. You were there.
No.
He said you were there.
Question but then if Victor vouches for
hey, yo, can we stop using me as an example though?
Saying,
if John,
Victor vouches for me and says that I didn't know.
Oh nah, I want company. Come on, let's go, bro. Let's go play dominoes. Yeah, come on, you coming?
Depends on how good your lawyer is. That's your answer.
Okay. Damn.
Fair enough. All right, so we got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do in the courts. Let's talk politics, bro, before we get you out of here.
Talk politics?
Yeah.
So in 2020, how close were you to becoming Speaker of the House?
Damn.
Well, like 50 votes. Sorry. Speaker?
No. Yeah. He's talking about something.
Speaker was.
Because when the horse trading was going on, your name
Damn,
was
you
thrown out
didn't even
there.
let me get into it. You just went straight. Shoot it.
I mean, so
I had that question ready.
so you gotta understand.
Sorry.
I mean, I just talk straight to everyone. So I was in a room when the government was being formed, and you know there were certain people who had supposedly signed up with the PPM before election day. Obviously, some of those people said that wasn't true. So during the process of the formation, one person actually left and went to the PPM, and then came back to join the government as a minister, and that's how that person got a ministry. And of course, at some point, he came in to save the day. So he always seemed to have the secret card.
They call him the kingmaker.
Yeah, I mean, for every government, he has a secret card. So to explain the whole speaker thing, I think it was because they wanted to show that they were serious about just moving forward and forming the government with the numbers that they had.
Okay.
So it wasn't necessarily the case that I was going to be speaker. It was more of a show of we're serious.
Well, I just wanted to know how close it was to happening.
Yeah, because that was the rumors that you were locked in to be speaker.
So, but for me, I think it was, I think it was more of a strategy to show the other guys that we're going ahead and form the government. Yeah.
I had a question about, because obviously that would have been your first time kind of being involved or being exposed, I think, to the actual the horse trading process.
Yeah.
How different was it, I guess, your perception before and then like now after experiencing it?
I didn't have any idea how it happened. But seeing it in real time is interesting because, you know, you have people who are leaving to go meet with the other party, but they say they're leaving for another reason.
I heard that. Yeah.
And then obviously after the government is formed, then you realize that they did go meet with them, and the terms that they presented were rejected, which is why they came back. So to see it in real time is very interesting because everyone is on their toes. Because if the government isn't informed with the people in the room, then you probably won't be in power.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is you don't know what anybody's doing. You don't know.
And that's risky though. That's crazy.
You have to keep them in the room.
I heard that they like literally like lock doors. Like they'll lock you in.
Yeah. Well, in this case, no doors were locked. So actually, 2 people left.
I feel like you want to tell us a number.
You're being real good right now. You know,
Don't worry, man. We can bleep it up.
It's 5 years.
We can give you a edit point.
5 years ago.
Let the man live.
5 years ago, man.
Yeah.
He's all right.
So 2 people left. The first person came back and took a ministry.
We know who she is. Yeah.
Now,
okay. Go ahead.
The other person just disappeared.
From the room.
So, yeah, just disappeared. Like,
so you were all looking around, eating, drinking, some fruit punch, and then all of a sudden, we're so.
So I think we were told that they had a meeting, like a committee meeting or something, and then they never came back, right? So, but eventually it did come back, and that's how the government was formed. But what's important here is people need to understand that everyone was told you need to have one manifesto. You need to have common goals that everyone agrees on. So don't think that they weren't told. Everyone was told you need to have someone there that can do good PR. You have to have good guidance, like a good strategic advisor. Everyone was told this.
But hold on. This is after you guys have been elected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's giving Hunger Games.
It's not a little too late.
No, but you understand that it was independence, all people who had different ideas who were coming together.
Yeah, but y'all should have came together.
But they
that's someone. You
don't know who's going to get in.
That's
so after the fact that everybody get in, and because they were all independents, they all had to come together and be like, all right, well, I know that everybody had different ideas, but now we got to come to the table and be like, this is
what
the
do
one.
we agree on?
Yeah, this is the one shared vision. Otherwise, egos will prevail, and I guess at the end they kind of did.
So the reality is that even with this election coming up, you actually don't know who's working with who. So even though you see these parties and their names, people are actually talking to other people at the same time because they don't know if their group is going to get in.
So you're saying that some people are saying, well, if my group doesn't get in and your group does, what can I get from you if I come join your alliance?
That's exactly what's happening. So this is just real. This is real stuff. I mean, I know people that are meeting with different parties now. And like one party would think that person is with us, but they've actually met with other people to figure out what could happen if a sufficient number of us don't get in and I get in. I don't want to be alone on the backbench for myself.
So that's what I was going to get into that too, because I think it was an interesting development recently. The parliament ended last week, and you basically had 6 persons announcing that they were no longer going to seek re-election coming in April. That's one is David White from the PPM, Georgetown West. Barbara Connolly, Georgetown South, which was a district that you ran in previously, the PPM. Barbara PPM, sorry.
I'm not PPM.
No, yeah. So I clarified. We're gonna ask you about that soon too, actually. Who else? We had Sir Alden McLaughlin. He announced in Red Bay he's no longer seeking an election. Also Moses Kirkconnell from Cayman Brack. That's 5.
Are you only doing PPM, or are you just talking about in general?
No. They took the biggest hit. Bernie. They lost about 5.
Oh, Bernie, yeah, I would say Bernie.
Then also Bernie, who's in Westwood North.
We don't know about.
What about our premier?
And then she's rumored to be on the not seeking re-election as well. So you're losing about 6 persons out of that 19 now. But I thought what was interesting was, I guess, the flowers or the kudos that was given out by the opposition, the official opposition. He kept going back to the word official opposition leader Joey Hugh. And talking to Kenneth, I thought that was of interest.
What kind of flowers did he give?
The video went viral, and I guess basically giving him his respect and his props. I hadn't seen that before, where a party member would perhaps do that publicly to someone who's an independent, not affiliated with them, in such a public scale or such a public level.
But he was PPM though.
No, he was previously, and now obviously there's rumors of him maybe perhaps going back there or whatever. But I thought that was interesting what Joey did. So that now leads into the question of, is that sort of like an invite there to kind of rejoin the group? And then what does that look like? Because you just mentioned independence, and we've seen what took place where you probably can't do certain things if you don't have a team or you don't have a grouping. So what is your thought process on that? I guess him having that sort of discussion in Parliament, and then what that would mean for a person who is an independent, and knowing what is probably needed to actually affect change in form of government.
You're always going to have this thing behind closed doors. It's never going to stop because everybody wants to be in a position of power. So I can't. I'm not going to lie to you. It's always going to happen. So
what is that? The horse trading?
So I can tell you right now that different people are meeting with different people. So even though that comment was made about Kenneth, I'm very confident, having been in the room, that he's met with other people.
Yes.
I mean, for an independent, I think to give you real world examples, there's someone who's supposed to declare today or tomorrow for Red Bay, and his idea was he can run independent and privately align himself with a group who doesn't have someone running against him, or he just go fully independent. I don't think that people don't want independence. People don't want an independent run government. I think that's a difference. For example, if you look at Northside, there are not going to be many candidates in Northside. So you can actually run as a candidate.
Yo, why is Deber
as an independent?
Bodentown East either.
Yeah, you can actually run as an independent in those sections that have historically had only 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
Northside, East End are perfect examples.
Yeah, but the question is though, if you don't align yourself with someone, how do you affect change in form of government and how power?
You always aligned.
Oh, okay.
That's a myth.
Okay.
That independent is out there alone. That's a myth.
Unless you're like former holder of the southeast corner, Mr. Miller, stuck to his independent roots through and through, which might have been
to his detriment.
Yeah. Despite like he was
almost there in 2017.
He was an amazing asset to have as the opposition, due to the amount of research and due diligence he did for the proceedings in Parliament. But at the end of the day, it, I guess, hindered his capabilities to provide for the district.
I think that's a good example you provide because as an independent, if you're a real independent, then you don't have any ties to other people, and so you can just say exactly what you think, which means that you can actually keep the government accountable. But the missing from this equation is Caymanians, because even if I keep the government accountable, if the voters don't support me and say that thing was wrong and there should be consequences, if the voters don't say it, then it seems like only means keeping the government accountable. So I think that's why I feel like we need to have civics, we need to have the Constitution, all this stuff's taught from like primary school.
Why keep looking at me for like I'm the teacher?
Because I on this every day. I say that all the time. They need to put it back into the curriculum.
Because then you can spot the foolishness. You can call it out. And not just one guy or two guys in the house calling it out. Yeah. You understand why they're calling it out. And
but you mentioned Caymanians though. I think calling it out is cool. But I still own my road, or I still own my speed bumps. I still own my. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where the disconnect comes from.
Yeah, whoever
you gonna be a martyr, or you gonna go get
whoever running down Red Bay where my daughter is. I don't tell them they want my daughter to vote. They're gonna have to put down speed bumps by my daughter's house.
But then I guess
my daughter lives on a long straight, and all hours of the night is racing going on down there.
Yeah.
So, come check. Yeah. Come check me.
So I asked that because you obviously ran as an independent before, and you saw what the horse trading.
I didn't really. So I ran with a group of people.
Well, come on. I thought you ran.
But this is what I'm saying.
I was just going to say he just told you that nobody really runs in.
Yeah. So basically, I ran with Jay, Isaac, Kenneth.
Oh, you ran with the independents.
Kathy. Yeah. So, but understand that we had a strategic advisor, an international company. All the framework was in place, right? For the campaign. Now, post-campaign, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. Is there free for all after that, right?
Well, there usually is, yeah.
Yeah. So seeing what you saw moving forward now.
But they're human beings, so you can't guarantee anything.
No, I'm talking about you as well, in terms of what the lessons learned from yourself now. And if you were to declare...
I would like to run with a group, but let's look at the reality. My area, which runs from the Avenue in South Sound around Webster's Estates, Smith Barcadere into Windsor Park, down to Outpost, down to Fairbanks. And what you find is part of the voters in this area, the environment is very important. And so you have to have a good balance between the environment and development. Nothing over the top. So that is reality. And so if I align with someone who wants to just put cement all over Cayman, it's not going to look good to the people I'm representing. So I wouldn't be able to align with a group like that. And so my choice that I have to make over the next couple of days is basically, do I compromise my principles and work with a group that I know I don't agree with, and I do that for the purpose of just getting in? Do I want to be that person, or do I just remain independent and have a good relationship with everyone because I know what happens on election night? there's a lot of horse trading on election night. So if you're being realistic about who my voters are, then it would be Andre's group that is closer to the whole care for the environment. That would be the closest group based on the philosophy. Other than that, my choice would just be to be independent.
So you're currently thinking of running in this next election?
Well, I can tell you that, yes, I am. I can also tell you that I've actually met with everyone. So I've met with a rep from the PPM before Barbara Connolly had given up the seat to Craig Frederick. I met with Dan Scott and Peanut. I met with Jay Ebanks, Chris Saunders, and a whole bunch of other people. So I clearly, I don't believe in people saying Alric said this and Alric said that. I should tell everyone, this is who I met, this is what I said. I said that to everyone. Mm-hmm. So there's no mincing of words or no misunderstanding. So everyone knows exactly where I'm headed. So everyone knows what I just told you. So, it is a hard choice because I don't know where Cayman voters are right now in terms of, do most voters just dislike independence for the bad experience we just had? Or are voters saying, well, you have to at least align with someone? I don't really, I mean, what is your experience? What are voters saying?
This will be my first election.
I mean, I've always believed
He shit on elections. From day one.
I've always believed the old Steve Jobs quote that people don't know what the hell you want. You just got to give it to them.
100%.
You know, because if you always listen to what people want, you would never do anything differently.
I'd like to hear some more views, though.
From everybody else. No, but and to answer that directly, I think that the opinions of people move like a pendulum. You know, the emotions swing, right? Because of the bad taste that they had with the previous administration in 2017, you know, people moved to the idea that the party system was bad. And that's when everyone wanted independence, even though ultimately speaking, independents still have to work together under some sort of understanding. Still have some sort of party structure because you still have to have some, you know, hierarchy of leadership and direction. And now, I guess, because of the egos that broke up that system, I guess, multiple times now, people have a bad taste now, and now they're going like, oh, we need to go back the other way. So I kind of feel like people are they're really basing it off emotions rather than applied.
But also top of emotions, though, it's also the needs change. It's no different from when they get elected on election night now, and then they have to go in the room and do the horse trading. It's a numbers game, or it's, you know, now because we're at X, we have to do Y. You know what I'm saying? So I think that also plays a part in how voters will react.
Talking a lot. He's not talking tonight.
Oh, he.
I have nothing to
No, I was just going to say people know, if you ask any person what they want, it's rare that they can tell you, but they can tell you what they don't want. So I'll hear people say they don't want XYZ MP in. I've heard it about all of them. I can call names. I heard people say they don't want Kenny, they don't want Dan, they don't want Peanut, they don't want John, they don't want Jay. I've heard every single name. Don't want McKeever, don't want any of the new.
And they say, who do you want?
Don't want Josh. Then you say, who do you want?
They don't know.
And it's anybody but them.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but then you give them somebody else, and they say, nah, not that person either.
Yeah,
because they don't have no experience.
Yeah. So I've honestly.
We don't want nobody old. We don't want nobody new. We don't.
Yeah. So you at this point, I don't try to study Cayman people. Like I try not to. Like we are the hardest people to please, and so it's. I honestly don't even know how to answer that, to be honest.
I wanted to ask you about the.
Hold on.
To answer your question, I just hear people saying that they want somebody with solutions. So that don't necessarily mean a party, independent. They just want people who are bringing solutions to the drawing board.
But Keisha, that's the point though. You can have the solutions if you want, but you can't be in the Southeast corner by yourself.
Yeah,
you still need to have the other majority of people with you to vote and make those things a reality.
If people don't like,
so that's
I know, but I'm just telling you what I heard.
Oh, nah. So we got to tell him that then, because I think that's the issue. I think when you talk about the independence or back to that kind of thing with the PPM is that. All right, you don't want him being in line with the party, but you don't, or do you want him independent? But then he may not get a seat, or he may not get power. So which one is it? You have to have those conversations and understand that this is the reality. And if you do decide to vote for independence, they may go in the room that night and lock in, and then.
So I kind of sometimes I compare the event space to politics. Reason is because if it's an event, if people don't like you, they're not coming. Same with politics. If people don't like you, you can have an amazing idea, you can have amazing plans, but if they don't like you, you're not getting that vote, no matter what comes out of your mouth. So it just seems like all like a popularity contest, to be honest. And the more you're out there, the more people you know, the more people that like you, the better your chances are of winning.
Yeah.
When it comes down to your decision about independence or joining a group, and obviously you've run as an independent, how difficult or how different is it getting the exposure, what they say, the old machine behind you, to, you have a team of people that are organizing your events, your appearances, versus being kind of not on your own per se, but you don't have as many resources at your disposal?
As an independent, it's exhausting because you understand that last time I was up against a whole party. So they have maybe 50 people out there on the street going door to door, whereas it's just me. But I did good considering I lost by, what was it, 50 or 50 to 75? I think it was. So being one person against a whole party and losing by a small number, losing is losing. But I'm just saying.
Well, no, because there were other men that, they lost. They only got like 10% vote.
No, he right though. I lost, no matter how big it is.
But it's indicative whether or not you have how much room you have to gain for the next election. Because certain men that run certain areas that got beat by 70% of the vote, they should never run again.
That's not the Mamba mindset.
Whereas if you only lost, if you only lost by like 30 votes or by 0.5%, then you can convince some minds there. Yeah, but if you lost by 60%, you're not convincing that.
I'm not trying to lose.
I know you're not trying to lose, but what I'm saying is okay, imagine if Barbara got 90% of the vote, you got 10. You probably might think, that's probably not for me.
I done in this area.
That sounds like a quitter's mindset. That sounds like me. I honestly,
if you get beat 90 to 10, you should quit. You should lose. You should
take that more ammunition to come again.
Yeah,
come again.
So Ari, it sounds like you have decided. You're just not sure which avenue to go. I try and get this broke on the pod.
So for me,
give it up on the pod, Ari. Let's go. Come on.
So I have a meeting after this.
Can I?
Okay.
I want to ask him a question before. So you mentioned a certain party. And there's a stigma.
Which party?
The TCCP.
Yeah.
There's a stigma out there of them being quitters. Does that sway your decision in any way?
Knowing, with my experience being chairman of NRA board and being on different boards, understanding how things work amongst us human beings, I wouldn't hold it against them too hard. So I feel that maybe they could have held out a little longer because it was such a short period before election. And, my feelings are known, and a decision was made. And I feel like there was a strategy, and that strategy was to get to an early election, but that did not work.
It backfired. No, people look at you a different.
So it's something that now, they have to battle through PR to get over that perception of, I mean, I've seen all the memes, I've seen the videos.
You saw the song?
But it's going to happen in politics at any stage in the campaign.
You also did a rap video too, by the way. I saw that.
That's the start. It started as just a joke. I mean,
I saw you acting one in a hip hop music video, man.
I can't dance.
Yeah.
I don't really hold that against them, to be honest. It might, well, for me as a voter.
Chris trying to get him on the pod, man. That's all. I'm joking.
You know what's the crazy part is none of them is in Chris' area. So why would you hold?
Not yet, apparently. Not yet, apparently.
No one's running in my area. I have no horse in battle. But me personally, I don't hold it against them. I mean, other people have their reasons and such, but I think, it's hard, it's easy
because you didn't vote for them. Imagine a person you voted for.
I get you, but it's easy to criticize hard decisions when you're not the one that's making them, right? And they were in a situation that they felt was a crossroads for where this country was going, and they felt like the Constitution literally says if you cannot come to an agreement, your only other option is to then resign. Okay. That is literally what it says. So they didn't have an agreement, so they resigned. They were well within their right to do that.
I have one more question for Alric real quick.
Was it me?
No. How much? Okay, let me see how I can word this. Okay, I know how to say it. How much does Moral Road affect your decision on which party you decide to go with? Because as you know, she has her favorites. If you join a certain one, you're getting crucified. If you join another one, you get spared. You get some nice things said. How much does that sway? Because I've seen you call into the show.
Oh yeah, he calls into the show.
So I have to ask because that is a concern of many people.
It doesn't. I've heard. So I know you don't know me for a long time.
No.
But I've always been that guy who's open to anything that can happen. So I'm used to it. So it doesn't sway my decision at all.
Okay.
So for example, if I were to go and join a PPM tomorrow, and then Marty came out and said, "Why did he do that? Because the PPM's track record and et cetera," I would take all the licks.
Yeah, but she's not coming.
But I would take all the licks, and I would go on the show and defend myself. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do that part. They don't want to go on the show and take the licks. The thing is, she's actually pretty reasonable. If you go on the show, you take your licks, and then you explain, these are the actual facts. Because remember, she has sources. And if you can correct her on the sources, I personally found it to be reasonable. But that's my personal experience,
I was just about to tear you up.
I wanted to ask you,
That wasn't me either.
I'm not sure if you're allowed to say, but generally speaking, ballpark figures, what kind of money does it take to win an election there for maybe it's an independent?
Not the amount that you're allowed to spend.
Well, I think that's kind of different, right?
Well, for someone like me who's an independent, then it would only take the maximum 40,000, because unlike other people, I just won't do certain things. So I'm not going to do any vote buying, and I was offered that last election. Someone said they would go out and help me to get votes, and I said no thanks. So said, so done, what I suspected. The guy got drunk one night after the election, and he started calling out all the names of the people that he went and buy votes for. And so I think that's why I'm glad I stick to my principles. If I don't think it's right, I'm just not going to do it. But so for me, someone like me, I could stick to the 40,000. Now, for people who have access to more resources, I've heard hundreds of thousands and more being spent on elections on big groups. So you guys obviously are aware that the government doesn't count the expense until nomination day.
Yeah. So
I can spend $5 million between now.
All the media and stuff done before March 1st.
Yeah, I can spend $30 million between now and nomination day, and they won't count it.
Yeah. So how do you balance that? Because you keep going back to your principles and things that you just will refuse to do. How can you go in a room with 19 others and work, just seeing off of things that we've seen in the past?
I just have to. My job is
in terms of collective responsibility. If you were to be elected as a minister.
Collective responsibility is only if you're with the government.
That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking into existence. I'm manifesting it for you.
Well, I'll have to walk away.
Fast forwarding quite a bit. Huh?
I try and help you. Yeah.
I would have to walk away.
Yeah, you walk away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it would depend on the gravity of the vote, right? If it's something.
No, that's not about the vote. If I'm in.
The gravity of the vote in cabinet, right?
Yeah,
so if you're in there,
if they're voting to eat children, then I'm out. I'm out, right? So no, it's some things I can't compromise. I just can't do it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It depends on the gravity of what If it's something that's considered to be more minor, is like, okay, I can give that whatever, even though I might not like it, I can give it up. But if it's something that's this is going to affect us 80 years on the road, I can't agree with that. That's what I meant by gravity of the vote.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at too, is like at some point you have to sacrifice a little bit for the greater good.
No.
And how will you do
that? If that little
I'm not talking about eating children. I'm talking about...
No. If that little bit is a lot to my people, then that's just no.
Okay.
And I brought it back full circle to the representatives that resigned because, whatever was being proposed, it wasn't for the greater good, so they stepped back. And I think that's how people should view those MPs. Like, they were looking out for us in that regard, the Kimanian people. They shouldn't be looking down like, oh, they're quitters. No, they were looking out for us, and they stepped back. They took a stand on something. We may not have agreed because we don't have all the information, but they do. So we should trust that the people we put there are making...
I'm good on trusting politicians.
Are making a decision to benefit us.
You're supposed to know better than that one.
So then what we voting for then, Rashad? This is what I keep asking and I keep saying.
Rashad, you're not doing a good job selling yourself for 2020. Right. You don't trust me.
Yeah, that way I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm not doing.
Well, that's the exact reason why I think that all of us should have been taught about the Constitution from primary school. Because I think that initially when they explained collective responsibility, I think most people don't get it. And the thing is, once you're in cabinet, even if you're outvoted, you can't come out in public and say that you voted against it.
Right.
So that's the idea of collective responsibility. But maybe those people got to a point where, they couldn't continue under that regime. However, whoever the premier is does have the option to offer conscious vote.
Yeah.
So as you remember with the domestic partnership law, which became the Civil Partnership Act, Alden actually said, vote your conscience.
Yeah.
So it is possible to talk to your premier and say, can we vote our conscience on this issue? That is possible. I don't know if that was done in this case. All we know is that, they said that there were certain things they couldn't agree with, and because of collective responsibility, they couldn't say anything else. That's all I know from what they said.
So I want to thank you for coming on, and basically you gearing up. You gonna give us that breaking news? I
got one meeting tonight. So
I know, but you just don't know which way yet. But
I think
we can look for you out in GTS, Georgetown South.
Yeah, I think.
Give him a little nudge, Keisha. Go ahead, give him a little.
I think.
Well, if I do the math.
Go ahead.
No, never mind. Go ahead, Art. Go ahead.
No, I think it's either Georgetown South or West.
There we go.
You heard it here first.
That GT West is pretty up too. All right. Okay. Chris, PPM boy, you good?
I'm doing all right.
It's PPM podcast boy. Okay.
Well, he's fairly familiar with some constitutional aspects. I wanted to ask a question. If you don't know, you don't know. It's fine. I was having a debate with Jevy the other day when the government announced the referendum. It's not about whether yes or no or whatever. It was around the actual wording in the Constitution, because we were debating, because it's been implied that a the government initiated referendum is non-binding, but the people's initiated referendum is. But when I read the Constitution, it explicitly says that the people's initiated referendum is binding, but it doesn't say that the government one isn't. There's no wording to say if it is or isn't specifically. So I was just wondering if you knew any, like, if you could bring clarity to that. If you know, if you don't, it's fine.
Yeah, so you'll clarify that in the Shirley Rawlston case, because last time they went for a people's initiated referendum, so you will see it explained in the case. So that is the position. So to me, having a non-binding referendum is a joke, because the next government can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so, to me, people are playing with Cayman's emotions because they have introduced some things that are very emotive topics. Mm-hmm. And instead of you paying attention to their track record over the past 4 years and everything they said that they didn't do, you are now focused on 2 issues or 3 issues. Mm-hmm. And if I don't like what you say on this one issue, then I'm not voting for you. That's what we've done to the voters. Mm-hmm. So we are no longer focusing on cost of living and healthcare and education. We just focus on ganja and lottery and the port.
Yep.
So I just think it's a very disingenuous thing to do to us, to the voters, insult our intelligence, to propose something that we know is not binding. So they could have put their resources into a people's initiated referendum, which is binding. They had that choice. So why didn't you do it? Because you know it's near the election, and you know that this will get people's attention, and it will make the difference between you getting in or not.
Good. I was just wondering. I was just have the debate. I just remember me and Javi were talking about it, and I was reading the Constitution. I was just like, it doesn't explicitly say that the government one is non-binding here. So just wondering.
Okay. Yeah. I see Rashad got that face on, so we gotta get him out of here, get some food. Alric has a meeting that we going to soon. We all gonna go. We're just gonna jump in. Yeah.
Okay, you're just taking notes.
We gonna help him decide.
Flies on the wall.
We gonna help him decide. Before we get out of here, real quick, earthquake talk, tsunami talk.
Where were you when it happened?
I want pickleball.
At the softball field.
I'm actually on the community emergency response team for Georgetown. So usually they send all the notices to us, and then we try to distribute them to the various chat groups. So yeah, I was basically activated. That's what they call it. So
a sleeper agent.
Yeah, so we have all these little walkie-talkies, and we're about 100 yards apart in different areas. We got this whole, Charlie this and Charlie that, and you're not allowed to make any jokes.
2012.
I know a lot of people convinced that a tsunami can't come to Cayman because of the Cayman Trench, but that's actually false. So I just thought they should know that. It just depends on where the earthquake happened.
Did you feel it? You say you were at pickleball. You were playing, or you didn't really?
No, he thought it was him.
I wasn't at pickleball at the time, man. I was home at the time, and then I went to pickleball. But I didn't feel anything.
You feel it? Keisha, what about you?
No, I was at softball with my kid. I saw the lights flicker. So if anything,
your kids plays baseball.
Whatever. You know what it is. I was at the Field of Dreams.
You saw the lights flicker. You thought it was TUC?
No, so that was the only thing that gave me an inkling. So I saw the light flickers, then I opened my phone and I saw the women in Cayman Facebook going off. So I was like, that's what I was.
Yeah, we're not part of that.
Duh, you're not a woman.
We wouldn't get the immediate notification.
Burn that. What about you, Chris? You felt it, or?
No, I didn't feel it. I was driving, and then I saw a text message in a chat group.
So you were driving and texting at the same time?
Jesus.
I'm recapping.
It blew too. It come through his phone.
You got Apple Car.
I'm not doing no crime with you ever.
Come out from the back, Chris. They got us. Come out from the back.
And then I was driving, and I went to Commander Bay. And when I got there, one of my friends said, "Did you guys feel that?" I was like, and then took a screenshot of the news and stuff about it, and I was like, damn. And then later when we got the tsunami warning, I know, like, obviously we've had multiple of them, but now it's just like my father's obviously getting older now, so I'm just super paranoid about anything that happens because I'm like, you know, at least if he's with me, anything does happen, then at least I can take care of it. And then if it's nothing, then it's 2 hours of us just chilling out together or whatever. So I called him immediately. I was like, yo, you need to pack up your stuff and then come to my house, you know, because he lives in Red Bay. It's a little bit low lying and stuff. And obviously just him one or whatever, but it's him and my sister. But if anything happens to them, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot.
Where do you live?
So,
you in his personal business.
No, I just want to ask. I was like, isn't that the most dangerous side?
I got 3 floors, so my dad only has one.
Something light, you know what I mean?
But sick of
He had to stunt.
Yeah.
Well, you out here trying to bring it up,
anytime hurricane come, you know, South Sound is normally.
I have a friend who was apart. They was like, what we must do? I was like, you need to leave.
Immediately.
No, but sick of it. When they sent the tsunami advisory, it said like 1 feet. So how realistically, how high was the waves gonna come? Like y'all not reading to understand. Everybody just go into this fear mongering, but it literally told you 1 foot. Like,
well, it was like point something.
Because it was said in the advisory.
It was 1 meter. I think
Pardon?
it was.
Yeah, that's right. It was 1 meter.
1 meter.
Yeah, so like no, but then
that's 3 feet.
1 meter is 3 feet.
But
right here.
But
no, Keisha, you are not 6 feet tall.
3 feet.
But
that is not 3 feet. That is not 3 feet.
But Keisha, I mean, you also have to understand that a tsunami can be a wave or a series of waves, or it could be like a surge. So, you know, if we had a surge that's coming into the land and pushing that water through, that's not exactly going to be, even if it's only 3 feet, if you have a lot of velocity behind that wave, it is going to cause real damage.
So let me ask you this, though. Why you didn't message us to come stay with you in the 3 stool?
Because I know where, listen, you know, okay, this going to sound fuck up.
Don't say it. Please don't say it.
No, I'm going to say it. I don't care, because you asked a real question, and I actually got asked that question that same night. Is like, you know, someone asked me, are you going to check on your friends and stuff? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but no, because I'm going to get distracted from taking care of my father. That was my number. And my mother's in South Africa, so she was fine. I tried to find out what time it was. It was 2 a.m., so I'm like, I'm not going to call her now. But I just like, let me get my dad, my sister, and that is my main focus right now. Everybody's going to have to worry about themselves. But if I start worrying about everybody else, that's going to make me lose focus on my father. And that's what I did.
We were trying to joke it out, but he took it all serious.
No, but I'm serious.
Of course, save your father.
Yeah. But you already knew he didn't fuck with us like that, remember?
Yeah.
Almost died and never called us, remember?
My bad.
Hold on.
You're right.
But Vic, he didn't care about the tsunami.
Why you say that?
I just know you didn't care about the tsunami.
Why? Because you were with me. I actually felt it when I went to sleep. I thought it was just, I don't know, my leg was like shaking in the bed. You know, it's not.
Oh, you actually felt it?
No,
I felt it a little bit.
And there was 2 reported too, you know.
I was.
I only know a few reasons. I'm supposed to shake.
My leg was sick. You know, my leg was sick. But yeah, I went to sleep afterwards, and then we went out.
That didn't help, by the way.
He added this narrative.
Moving right along. Super Bowl. Go ahead, your boy Kendrick Lamar. What's up?
Actually,
So hold on. Nobody, did you feel it? Al?
No.
Nobody in here. Do you?
I felt it.
Nobody in here felt it besides Vic.
Vic.
You sure that wasn't? That wasn't. Nobody didn't feel it besides you.
Well, technically, they say a lot of the people on the western coast felt it. Don't know where you live. Somewhere up there.
Yo, why yelling my personal business?
Yeah, he's showing his personal business.
That's why he felt it. Because I try and prove fact on a fiction story.
To our fictional story.
Because
It sounds true, right? It can be a true story.
Speaking of fictional stories.
What's that?
Huh?
What?
What?
I'll fuck him up. Yo, can we be real? Can we have an honest conversation about
What's
that?
happening now? Go ahead.
Can we have an honest conversation about the Super Bowl?
I didn't watch it, but you guys are gonna enlighten me.
That shit was trash, bro.
The game?
Everything. You never want to see a blowout in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What's a blowout?
Get beat by a lot.
When the team not like just one sided.
So the Chiefs never get three-peat then?
No.
No, Keisha.
It didn't. It wasn't even close.
Repeat.
That one we're calling it? Are you using on a lingo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who invented that? Who? Well, I guess who trademarked it?
No.
And gets paid off of it?
Who?
It's Pat Riley.
Huh.
Yeah, back in the 80s.
Don't worry, the Celtics will never do that again.
Shut up.
Because you're a Celtics fan.
Sorry,
Don't worry.
Keisha, you know what I mean? Like when your back get blown out?
Yes,
That
I
basically
do.
what happened to...
But no, it doesn't feel good for them though. Yeah, it didn't feel good. Sorry, we got out again. Let's be on our best behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Super Bowl performance real quick. I know you was hyped. That your boy Kendrick Lamar
I think they messed up his mic, man.
messed up his mic. They messed up everything.
I mean, like, it's because, like, you watched the Pop Out concert?
Yeah, that was good.
Like, his mic, you could hear every word he was saying. I felt that whatever was relaying to the TV for the Super Bowl, I felt like his mic, you could not understand everything he was saying. The music was overpowering his actual words, which was annoying to me.
Boy, I don't think that was the case when Not Like Us came on.
But
Sorry. What you said, Rashad?
I said I don't think that was the case when Not Like Us came on.
oh no, I mean,
I heard everything.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it was the funniest thing from there was when he hit the "Hey Drake."
Yeah, I think
and he turned to the camera, hit him with a little smirk.
I think that was from there to when he had the crowd singing A minor. That was the highlight of the entire performance.
We gotta have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I heard
that
people
was the highlight.
talking about Scissors Part 2. Was that good?
No, that was great.
Yeah, SZA was good.
Okay.
That was great. But
I need to go back and watch it. I didn't watch it.
No, I mean the thing is with the Super Bowl, you don't want to dance, you want to party, you want to have like a lyrical rapper is not the
Dancing party. I don't
You
agree
talking
with
about
that.
Usher launch? You talking about
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake? You talking about Madonna?
Then you get Chris Brown on
Beyonce,
the
Prince,
show.
Michael
The climate
Jackson.
of the U.S. right now needed Kendrick. That's what they need.
So you think you're gonna change tomorrow?
no,
I mean, no, but you got to start somewhere.
You don't try to hear political.
They needed Chris Brown
Next year.
dancing, make him feel good.
Not gonna be controversial.
That's what they needed.
Really? Why?
Chris, because Breezy is still got the.
The stigma.
Yeah,
still
but we
got the
already
stigma.
know that it was Rihanna's fault. So, like, get over it.
Oh,
She came out and said she's sorry and all these kind of things.
Keisha's
We over
opinions
it?
are that of her own. We
That's
know
not an
that
opinion.
those-
That is facts. That
Thoughts
is
and views
factual.
of-
We know that it is her fault. She started the fight.
So
No, nobody makes you just say that.
That's not the view of the show.
Thank you.
So you know why though? Keisha
How
wants me.
many times in court you hear that get me? Because she started it meant that I had
Keisha
to. Is
want
that
me
ever
to.
taken into evidence?
Keisha
No,
want me
but
to
she
believe.
did initiate it.
Keisha want me to believe that a woman took accountability. Not happening, Keisha. So I don't believe. You are fake news.
Anyway,
So yeah, the game was I guess it was a blowout. Shout out to the Eagles fans. I know they were happy for that. I think as a casual fan, football fan, you just want to see a good game regardless. And that wasn't a good game.
The Eagles don't really. They don't really have fans. People just hate the Chiefs.
Nah. They got some bad.
No, they do have some, but I will say it was the entire world against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs came. When the Chiefs were announced, the entire stadium booed.
Yeah, whenever my goat go to the finals, it's everybody against
He
him.
not going by there for a long time. So
What you mean? It start tonight.
he not going by there.
Starting tonight.
He not going by there for a long time.
Is Lucas starting tonight? Oh snap! Need to go watch that.
Lucas team. Shout out to Ellen real quick. Ellen is to listen to the podcast and she's an Eagles fan. But yeah, the performance. I think the performance was dope, but it's not what you want to see at a Super Bowl. You definitely had the double entendres there. Uncle Sam, played by Sam Jackson. The flag, the people were
The game controller.
Serena
think
Crip
Serena
walking.
Williams.
I think they were trying to just put Drake in his place, but like, yo, slow your roll.
Yeah,
I think that's really what it was.
and it was overkill though.
Well, I mean,
Nah,
that's you heard the Jay-Z line.
Nah,
You smash you, answer the sledgehammer. Like that's what he went for.
He been doing it. Yeah,
Nah, if I diss in you, and we in a beef, like a verb, like lyrical beef, and I get a chance to perform at the Super Bowl, I killing you there.
You have to. I agree. You have to do that.
And then-
I agree.
and then show-
But it's also been 7-8 months later.
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter
It don't matter.
because you already showed your hand that it bothers you by suing, by doing all the things you did. You are showing that it still bothers you. So if I hate you and I know something bothers you, you think I'm gonna stop?
At some point, yeah, you gonna stop.
No.
You think 50 stop?
Petty Betty.
Everybody died.
Smoking on that
Everybody died, and 50 was out here trolling.
They tried to kill him. That's different.
No one.
They tried to kill him. Literally,
Well,
they stabbed him in the studio.
I'm just all I'm telling you.
Everybody has
and shot
different
him.
limits, Vic.
And Irv got his best friend shot him. He was the one that shot him.
Yeah. So I mean, listen.
But I'm just saying, whatever they have, Kendrick is being as petty as he can be, whether it's justified or not. But if it was me, and I feel like I want to be petty, I'm doing all of that.
Yeah, we got beef forever.
So we saying none of you guys were there for Taylor Swift?
Absolutely.
No, I don't even.
I mean, like, I don't hate her like everyone else does. I don't see why people like care about her so much in terms of like hating her.
No, I don't
like,
hate her.
They give her a lot of energy for like of just hate. I'm just like,
Yeah, but y'all just said if it's up, it's up. So
no, but
we
over
don't
what?
have
Over
beef
what for her?
Taylor.
no people, everybody,
Taylor.
no people who don't like her. Yeah, I'm saying.
But over what?
It doesn't matter. It's up for them.
No, I like Taylor. She had a song. She had a song, Old City. So,
So yeah, but
I mean, I sing some of her songs.
I thought it was dope when he did tease the diss record. Like he thought it was coming at the time, and he stopped. So no, that was good. But I enjoyed the performance. It's just like not for the Super Bowl. Like that. You're not trying to be lyrical miracle, kill me for 15 minutes.
He would have to go link Elon and go to space and perform. That's the only way he talks.
He not talking that. No, he not talking that.
Only way.
He not talking that.
He has to stand up on the moon and diss him. That's the only way.
Hey, listen. The song,
No, I say Drake would have to do that
the song is great too though.
to surpass.
No gimmicks and just stand with the mic and crush the whole thing. That's not even a question.
You're forgetting this though. Is when you're not liked anymore, the rules change.
No, wait, they would
It's nothing.
sing. They would sing Drake
There's only a
songs.
subsection of people who just don't like Drake. I mean, just don't like Drake to me. It's that's how I feel about it.
D has spoken.
He's still a big star, dude.
No, of course. No one's knocking
He's
out.
bigger than Kendrick. That's the reason why.
People won't admit that. Yeah, he still
He's
is.
way bigger than Kendrick.
Kendrick about to go back into the hole too. Actually,
Yeah.
Kendrick don't want to be out there like that.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
He not corporate.
But Kendrick just say, yo.
Yeah.
Kendrick just
People
say, don't
still
forget
going
your
to his
place.
concerts and all that overseas. So
No, but
What
Kendrick would just like, yo, don't forget your place.
What was
Like, stay in your lane, do your thing.
He told him, he said, "Don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell no truths about you."
from 300 about making a god bleed?
I don't remember. I just remember that kick in 300 when the dude kicked him.
Anyway, when Xerxes bled. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah, let's get out of here, man. Any final comments? I know we probably missed a lot of stuff.
yes, please support the under 17 boys at the World Cup qualifiers. Yeah, this week. Under 17.
But, okay.
They'll be playing in Guatemala. What? That what you gonna ask?
No, go ahead. No, you
They'll be playing in Guatemala against Jamaica, El Salvador, and St. Lucia. Good luck, boys.
And where can you watch it?
Oh, you can watch it on Disney Plus, guys. You can stream it on ESPN. So you don't have no excuse, because I always love to say, I can't support. Stream Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Okay,
Remember
back
that
to you, Vic.
song Guatemala?
No, don't tell me about it. Can you sing a little bit about
No,
it?
I can't sing it.
I just trying to get this thing. Well, I'm to your boy Bruno Mars, bro.
What happened to it?
He got a new song. You gotta learn how to perform though.
I don't know if I can sing that one out in public.
I think you can when you gotta get the get the lyrics.
Escort me out the building?
Which one is this?
With sexy, right?
Sexy Red.
Oh.
It is extremely explicit. You
Yeah.
remember Gorilla?
Sexy Red is a rare talent.
You remember the song Gorilla by Bruno Mars? It was like a song about him doing cocaine and alcohol and
Okay, yeah.
having sex with this girl or whatever. It is 1,000,000 times more explicit than that.
What he
Yeah,
said.
but that was Sexy Red. That was her
I know.
music is about.
I'm just telling you that is a new commercial song. The song sound hard to me, but people are just saying, he's on the West Coast vibe now because Kendrick made it popular enough.
It's also vulgar too, though. Like it's very in your face.
Very, yeah.
So we want you to learn that one from Mango Tree, so we can get that performed.
Keisha, you gonna do sex?
She can do
part?
sex red part.
I don't like to be voluntold.
So we just come and ask you later, like nicely.
I got to submit an application.
Ah, yes, submit it to HR. We'll review it later.
Any final comments we got here, Chad? Big Dink Energy.
What?
What show is this?
It sure says Big Dink Energy.
Let me clear the shirt up. No, that one sounded that way.
I mean, following on from what you picked up earlier, you know.
That's what the view.
I think it's like a shake it.
Yeah, this is a pickleball shirt.
Yeah.
Pickleball shirt.
Okay. Final comments real quick. Vitamin New, X Night, Body Night Carnival, declaring March 9th. What, anything else?
Nah, that's it. That's it for now.
That's
We
it
might
for
have
now.
some more next time.
All right. Keisha, any final comments we got here? Plug the football.
Oh no, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever.
F1 boy, Chris, Salsa Poppy, happy days.
Formula One come back in a couple of weeks. Starting.
Anything else?
It's a great time.
Come on, we try to joke all the thing about talking about his father. I mean, come on, you don't get out of here.
No one hurt you.
What? You try to set it up?
Yeah. Alric, before we go out of here, any final comments? Before you declare on our show, you're running. You just don't know where and who. So we thank you for that breaking news. We got to get you to your meeting now. And we're gonna all come with you on the meeting just to make sure you know taking care of you. That's all.
That's fine.
More muscle, you know what I mean? More bargaining power. Shout out to D. Shout out to people behind the boards, people who listen, people who rock with us, people who've been buying the merch as well. We appreciate you.
You got merchandise?
Yes,
We try and hoodies and cups. So yeah, when you declare, you can have a cup on the table when you declare. Before we get out of here, thank you guys for rocking us. We appreciate the support. If you've been listening to us in the car while you're at work, not doing your job, if you're home cleaning, we appreciate it all. Find us on YouTube, find us on IG at PodLinkUp. Hopefully we'll be here same time, same place next week. You know where to find us on all your platforms, all your streaming sites. I'm on YouTube. Like and subscribe so D-Bert and Chris don't be mad at me. You've been listening to the Link Up podcast.
Who brought snacks?